A wonderful performance. I mean, I can't say more than that. I'm terribly proud of the team, the way they came back like that.
The crowds here at the Belfry have been noisy, partisan, but also well behaved. There have been no complaints or excuses from the American captain Ray Floyd. In any event, he knows that a 5-3 deficit could quickly disappear tomorrow.
Well, we're going back now to the main news of the day, the IRA bomb which murdered 9 Royal Marine bandsmen and 1 civilian and injured 22 more people at Deal in Kent. Michael Burke is there. Michael, are they still searching the rubble for more possible victims?
No, I think the work on the site of the explosion seems to have been called off for the night, and the authorities are saying that they're reasonably satisfied that everybody has been accounted for. But the damage has been enormous, you know. That bomb, it sort of blew the walls of this 3-story building apart and brought the concrete roof crashing down. So there's still an enormous amount of rubble there, but work won't start again then until tomorrow.
What is the mood of the townspeople in Deal tonight?
Well, what you would expect. This is a small town, a civilized, comfortable, conservative sort of town, and the Royal Marines and their band have been a part of it for much more than 100 years. Imagine what it was like, you know. I mean, the band comes out and practices every morning when it's fine in a barrack area there, you know, which is surrounded by lots of small houses. The people hear the music, they see the bandsmen coming back and forth. The bandsmen are a part of the town. And the town, I'm sure, feels the sadness and considerable anger that the Marines themselves feel tonight.
So really the people of Deal are taking it very personally tonight?
Personally, yes, and a great deal of, at the moment, fairly controlled anger, well voiced by the Chief Constable here about an hour or so ago at a news conference. Anger was what he expressed, and the determination to catch the people who did it, whatever it might cost and however long it might take.
Michael, thank you very much indeed. And that is the 9 o'clock news tonight from London and from the Royal Marine Barracks at Deal in Kent. Good night.
Good evening. An investigation is underway this evening into what's thought to have been up to 20 arson attacks in the past 18 months. All have been in North Warwickshire. The latest 2 were near the village of Shustoke, when straw, wheat and farm machinery were destroyed. This afternoon, almost 24 hours after the alarm was raised, fire crews were still damping down. A victim of IRA terrorism was buried with full military honours in the Midlands today. Staff Sergeant Kevin Froggatt from Somercotes in Derbyshire was shot repairing a radio mast in Northern Ireland. Friends, family and colleagues were at the ceremony in Sergeant Froggatt's local church. Tributes were paid to his courage in working in such danger.
Although Kevin's death can only be described as cold-blooded murder, he was fully aware of the risks and prepared to die for Queen and country.
Staff Sergeant Kevin Froggatt stands head and shoulders above those who brought about his death by such a cowardly act of barbarism.
250 hospital cleaners in the Worcester area are facing the sack after 2 private companies were awarded cleaning contracts this afternoon. The cleaners now have to wait to see if they'll be re-employed by the new operators. An RSPCA inspector in Northamptonshire resumed work today 4 months after being severely wounded by a farmer's trap. The farmer was jailed for 3 years. He'd rigged a gun to go off when the inspector called. Mr. Goodyear gave his reaction to the sentence.
In a way, I shouldn't probably say I'm pleased, but then justice has been done. If anybody else had gone in there smaller than me or a child, then they would have been killed outright.
Well, that's the news in the Midlands. Our next bulletin's tomorrow afternoon. Midlands News and Sport at 5:15. From us all here in Birmingham, we wish you a very good night.
Hello. The south mainly dry over the weekend. Hasn't it always been so? But meanwhile the north a touch more equinoctial. A good Scrabble word that just means wet and windy. If you're getting away, the Mediterranean's direction to head in spite of these storms tomorrow, a lot of sunshine down there, and Iberia and the Canaries as well. And as we go through the weekend, the band of showery rain with some thunder will drift slowly eastwards across Europe. Much more cloudy and changeable weather up here over the British Isles and the northern parts of Europe. This band of clouds is moving away slowly now, but just the tiniest gap, can you see it there, before the next frontal system comes along, these two merging together to spread wet and in places windy weather across northern and some western parts of Britain later tomorrow. This high is going to keep the south mainly dry over the weekend. That's the radar picture short time ago. Still some pretty hefty showers round the Irish Sea there, and there's plenty of rain in the northeast of Scotland where radars fear to tread, but most places having a dry night, but more rain and drizzle getting into Ireland by the end of the night. Not a cold night, 10 is 50 degrees Fahrenheit. And tomorrow, that's what we expect to see. A lot of dry, bright weather over England and Wales, a lot of cloud over Scotland, some rain in the northeast, and some rain getting into western parts of Britain as well, and up into the southwest of Scotland during the course of the morning, and spreading across some northern parts of England and Wales, some drizzly stuff by the end of the afternoon. Central, southern and eastern parts of England staying dry and fairly bright. Breezy in the west later on, especially tomorrow evening and tomorrow night. Fairly light winds elsewhere. Cool in the north and west, 15 is 59. In the south, a pleasant 20 Celsius, 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Those are the temperatures tomorrow afternoon. On Sunday, a band of cloud and wind and rain will gradually spread eastwards across northern Britain and down across some central areas as we go through the day. Brighter weather with showers returning to Scotland and Northern Ireland and staying dry in the south and the southeast. Finally, a summary of tomorrow's not too bad weather. That's it. Good night.
A lioness on the lookout for a meal. Well, she's reclining just a few hundred meters from where I'm now sitting, just one of the species that you'll be meeting live by satellite when Africawatch visits the Masai Mara here in Kenya, surely one of the great game viewing areas anywhere in the world. We've chosen to come here now because it's migration time, when hundreds of thousands of grazing animals are on the move. Already they're starting to mass out on the plains. And as you can see, we're not the only ones to take an interest in the migration. Lions and other predators are on the prowl. It's an exciting time to be in this great game reserve. I hope you'll join us.
Africawatch starts at 6:30 Sunday morning and continues throughout the day on BBC1.
And on 2 now, the start of a brand new series seeking out the roots and influences of popular music in Africa, Under African Skies. Tonight's programme focuses on the music of sub-Saharan Mali. Here on 1 in 50 minutes, Omnibus explores Carver country, the flip side of the American dream, as reflected in the work of writer Raymond Carver, who was acclaimed as the American Chekhov and saviour of the short story after his death a year ago. Before that, a problem patient stirs up a hornet's nest for the hospital team in Casualty.